Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode, we're talking about the Minnesota Vikings versus Detroit Lions Week 12 matchup based on analytics. Each week, I collect all of the current 2017 NFL team data in order to analyze and project potential NFL performance. And since it's a weekly collection, there's always going to be some variation between different variable points. However, there's always going to be little nuggets of truth that could become bigger nuggets of truth as the season continues. So stick around as I analyze each week's matchups based on analytics. And if you are new to the channel, all terms and definitions will be in the description. So starting with this matchup between the Vikings and the Lions, when you get to the NFL stat basic comparison data, and basic comparison data essentially is looking at how the offense is doing, how the defense is doing, and of course how the special teams is doing. And based on all that information, the edge goes to the Vikings. So let's get into some reasons why. First off, the Vikings have a better turnover ratio. They don't turn the football over as much as the Lions do. The Vikings don't allow as many sacks as the Lions do. And on top of that, the Vikings have a better offensive score percentage, which is the ability to put points on the board on every single drive. So offensively speaking, the Vikings are just that much better in terms of each major offensive metric when it comes to basic information. And then defensively speaking, the Lions have the edge in a couple different areas. They're a little bit better on defense when it comes to defensive offensive score percentage. They're better when it comes to creating turnovers on defense, and they're also better when it comes to interceptions, whereas the Vikings are better when it comes to sacks. So defensively speaking, I would say the edge slightly goes to the Lions when it comes to a turnover perspective, and a slight evenness when it comes to points allowed on defense. Basically allowing points to be made on defense. So defensively, it's a little bit more even than I actually would have expected. It's just that the two defenses do different things. The Vikings are more so sacks, while the Lions are more so getting picks, interceptions, that sort of thing. Then when you get to the special teams data, when you look at punt return yardage, the Lions are there when it comes to that particular metric. The Vikings are good when it comes to kick return yardage. Defensive punt return yardage goes to the Vikings. Defensive kick return yardage goes to the Lions. Field goal percentage goes to the Vikings. Extra point percentage goes to the Lions. Punting average goes to the Lions. And then, of course, all the data combined goes to the Vikings. So, based purely on the basic information between both these teams, the Vikings have the edge in this matchup. Now, when you get to some micro matchup data, so looking at completion percentage data, for example, this is the Lions offense versus Vikings defense when it comes to completion percentage. And in this particular area, the Vikings are favored on second and third down, respectively. Then, of course, you get to the Vikings-Lions, so you flip it. And in this particular area, the Vikings are better in terms of second and third down when it comes to completion percentage data compared to the Lions defense. Then we get to rushing downs, first down conversion rate with the run, and this essentially is getting into the ability for the offense to create first downs with the run in various downs and distances versus the defense's ability to prevent said first downs from being made. And in this particular area, the Vikings defense is favored on first and third down. This is probably one of the better aspects of the Vikings, is their run defense. Then you get to the Vikings rushing offense versus Lions rushing defense. In this particular area, the Vikings are favored on first and second down. Then we get to passing downs. In this particular area, the Vikings are favored on first and third down when it comes to passing. Then we get to the Vikings offense versus Lions defense, and the Vikings are favored on second and third down when it comes to the pass. So the Vikings should have some success passing or throwing the football against the Lions defense. Then, of course, we get to sack rate, Lions offense versus Vikings defense. I think this is going to be a key matchup in this game. The Vikings' ability to create sacks on first down and third down, and the Lions' inability to prevent sacks on those particular downs and distances, I think is going to be a big-time matchup that I think could be a deciding factor in this game. So look for that matchup. Look for the first down and third down sack rate in this game. Then, of course, when we get to the Vikings offense versus Lions defense when it comes to sacks, and in this particular area, Vikings are favored on first, second, and third down. Then we get to interception ratio. Lions offense versus Vikings defense. Lions are favored on first and third down. And then finally, we get to the Vikings offense versus Lions defense. And in this particular area, the Vikings are favored on first and third down situations, with the only major area to be somewhat concerned about is first down. You can see the disparity on first down between the Vikings offense and the Lions defense when it comes to the tendency to throw interceptions in those situations. So that's going to be probably another sort of down to kind of see what happens if a pick gets thrown. That could be a major deciding factor in this game. So overall, my general thoughts on this game, it's a very compelling game to me. I do think the Vikings are going to take this game, mainly because of the offense that they have. I think it can overcome some of the issues they may face against the Lions, because the Lions, typically speaking, are going to take advantage of risky quarterbacks that take a lot of risks, and Case Keenum is not that type of quarterback. Vice versa, I think the strengths of the Vikings defense when it comes to sacks and those sort of aspects of things, I think that really favors them in this matchup, especially when it comes to first and third down. The Lions have had issues dealing with teams that can sack the quarterback, that can get pressure. And I think that when you look at the strengths of the Vikings and you look at the fact that the Vikings offense will have decent success, should have decent success, I think all those things will factor in for a win for the Vikings. And of course, my name is James Coburn. You can find my other work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well with anybody that you know. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.